Hey everyone, this is Alfredo here, also known as your boy Sosking, and welcome back to another video. And this time, we're not only going to be looking at a fight I've been wanting to do, but also a fight that's actually pretty, standard at all. So, leave a like, comment down below, and make sure and share this with a friend. That's all I have to say. Anyways, let's get on to the fight. Well, not yet at least. Anyways, this is about Noctis Lucis Caelum from Final Fantasy 15 versus Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Basically, a battle between two RPG protagonists that actually are pretty popular. So, when we're gonna look at it, I'm going to be using Versus Battles Wiki for this, and I know that's kind of a bit cynical, because Versus Battle Wiki is pretty. Sometimes it has very flaw. It's not flawless or perfect. It does have some. It does have some flaws and incorrect facts. So take it as you will. Please correct me if you think these facts are wrong. But yeah, first of all, we're gonna be taking a look at Sora first, and then Noctis. By the way, credit to the person who made this video. I don't want to steal the credit. I think it's fine. Where I think I could hopefully use this as an example. But yeah, this is where the grand magic at this place. Mind you, I'll be using versus Battle Wiki as well. And for Sora, I guess we're saying this is Sora Kingdom Hearts this is Sora with his Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, Dream Drop Distance, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Arsenal. And I guess Noctis is a would be a composite character with his pre-time skip appearance and his stuff with the post-time skip in Final Fantasy 15. So yeah, we'll be taking a first look at Sora and his magic, the grand magic that is. And let me take these headphones off to let you guys hear the footage. So yeah. First up, we have Waterza. Waterza. Sora creates a water ball, a water sphere, if you will, that creates a giant water explosion, and it releases water all around the enemies. It's decently big, and it has a good radius and range. Thunderza, he rains down his enemies. Basically, a lot of thunder happens. Multiple lightning bolts come raining down from the sky. That's pretty good range. Erosa creates a tornado with, many other, small tornadoes. That's pretty big as well. Firerosa, it's basically a single fireball that creates many other flares. Then we have Blizzaza, which creates a snowflake. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And now we'll be going to the Versus Battle Wiki for what Sora can do. And like I said, we'll be using Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora with Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff, Dream Drop Distance, 2, and 1. For his fight, I guess we're gonna let him use his summons. So powers and abilities, I'm going to list others. I think I'm going to list basic stuff. I don't want to list all of these in general. But he has superhuman physical characteristics, self-sustenance, surface scaling, flight, energy manipulation, elemental manipulation, electromagnetic and gravity manipulation, summoning, damage boost, darkness manipulation, rage power, after image creation, teleportation, magic telekinesis, poison manipulation, spatial manipulation, horror bestowal, homing attack, resurrection, damage reduction, healing, existence erasure, non-existent physiology, existence erasure, casualty manipulation, light manipulation, transformation, statistics amplification, force field creation, visibility, keyblade master level fighter, power mimicry, ice manipulation, resistances, and stuff like that. So ice manipulation, mind manipulation as well. He's faster than Light Plus, which is great. Class M, large star class, durability. He managed to fight like 1,000 Heartless, so I guess that makes sense. We're not gonna list the feats because it'd be too long, so that's why. He does have his Keyblade with him. Basically, he has multiple Keyblades if you guys want to look at that. But we're gonna skip the feats here. We're gonna go to the notable attacks and techniques. Flow motion. This is from Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, so take that as you will. Like I said, we're using Sora with the flow motion. Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora with the Dream Drop Distance. Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1. So yeah. Flow motion. While exploring the sleeping world, Sora gained the ability to utilize flow motion to further use the environment to his advantage, allowing him to easily leap off walls, grind rails, leap to great heights, move in other unconventional ways in order to catch their foes off guard and dodge attacks. And we're including summons as well, so yeah. Keyblade techniques. Ars Arcanum, one of his most powerful attacks, Sora charges the Keyblade with energy before. I'm going to be using some of these, don't worry. With energy before unleashing powerful flurry up to 13 strikes, he opens with Arcanum, stunning the target in preparation for bash. 2 sets of 5 blows are quickly chained into each other. If he finishes the target with finish, 2 overhead swings that knock the target away. Sora is virtually invincible while executing this technique, nullifying the enemy's ability to counterattack. Double slash. Sora does a quick slide, putting himself near the enemy and damaging them. Sora can make several magical spheres that surround him and explode. Sora hops backward a short distance before delivering a powerful lunging strike that smashes through most force fields and bypasses resistance to physical or magical attacks. Arcane Blast is an aerial finisher in which Sora spins rapidly to repeatedly attack his foe, releasing bursts of light all the while. Ragnarok. Alternatively called Infinity, after finishing an aerial combo, Sora can change energy in his Keyblade to unleash a powerful fusillade of energy projectiles, the number and power of which is directly proportional to the amount of time he spends charging. Strike Rate, also translated as Strike Judgment in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora throws his Keyblade at the enemy 4 times, with the 5th and final throw being more powerful to the point of sending the target flying into the air. Vicinity Break unleashes a powerful spinning attack when surrounded. Sunsetsu can combo finish as Sora bring back his blade before dashing past his foes from the possible fast strike, dealing massive damage to all fortunate to be caught in the line of fire. You can also use this as a counterattack to catch a foe who's been staggered from having their attack blocked. This is Ars Arcanum, Explosion, Lethal Flame, Guard Break, Hurricane Blast, etc. Now we got the magic, and yeah, this is what, like I said, he has the grand magic, so please take that as you will. Eroga. Sora can I think to let this video be short, at least around 30 minutes, we're going to be listing some magic. Eroga. Sora can conjure a barrier of wind currents around himself, halving any damage he receives while this is active. Eroga also inflicts damage to anyone that gets near Sora while it's active, acting not only as a defensive barrier, but an offensive one as well. You can also use this to instead create a wind vortex that blows away his enemies while doing damage in the process. Blizzica, powerful ice spell that fires a shard of ice that pierces foes, fragmenting like shrapnel and dealing several ticks of damage before it passes through. Fire a sword shoots out a ball of fire that sets his enemies ablaze, so alternatively this becomes a rotating ring of fire center around him that incinerates nearby enemies. Graviga. Sora manipulates gravity to either lift enemies into the air and leaving them vulnerable, or to crash flying enemies into the ground where they can be easily more dealt with. In addition, some variations of the spell deal damage based on how much the opponent's health is remaining, dealing more damage to top foes than weakened foes. Magnega. Sora creates a vortex of magnetic force that draws in his enemies and deals continuous damage in the process. Trapped in a tight group, Sora is free to attack foes who are restrained in this manner. Stalka. Sora stops timer on his foes, rendering them incapable of action, leaving him to attack them as much as he pleases with the duration of the spell. Thundiga. Sora calls down lightning bolts from the sky to strike his foes. Waterga summons a barrier of water around Sora before either exploding or shoots out a ball of water that homes in on the target. Its initial form as a barrier allows it to repel projectile attacks away from Sora. And this is the versions of pretty much everything. And this is practically every magic he has, I guess. And Warp. And Nami sucks and erases them from existence. Yeah, Warp does that. And we got his summons. He has Aerial. Drives through the ground and up to the air while damaging enemies. Bombi. Bombi bounces around the field and drops mana orbs so Sora can gather in order to refill his mana gauge. Can also drop a special item for Sora after he defeats a certain number of enemies on the field. Chicken Little can heal Sora Whistle in order to stun enemies and bring them closer to Sora, similar to the Magnet spell. Actually, these are spells from, I believe, Germ Drop Distance, so say that as you will. Does have the limits, however, problem is he requires, I guess, Riku and Don and Goofy to do this, so I guess we're not including that. Then we have his drawing forms. We have his Valor form. It basically represents Sora's strength, turning his clothes red and black upon activation. This form pretty much gives him an extra capability to fight with, and it pretty much just increases his overall strength in general and speed, basically doubling the damage. Wisdom form allows him to do his skill with magic. It is lowering his physical strength. However, it gives him the power of magic in addition to allowing him to fire energy blasts and glide along the floor at high speeds. Master form represents Sora's powers in both physical and magical combat, turning his clothes yellow and black. This form combines the strength of both Valor and Wisdom form, allowing him to dual wield Keyblades, increasing his strength and speed, all while also increasing the power of his magic. Then we have his final form, Sora's Ultimate Dry form, representing Sora's completion after finally merging with Roxas, turning his clothes white and black. His powers dramatically increase in every regard, allowing him to kinetically control 2 Keyblades at once, drastically increasing his strength, speed, and magical powers, and even allowing him to fly. In addition, his Keyblades will automatically seek out and attack foes who approach Sora, allowing him to remain on the offensive as he dodges as well as attacks. Consumes 5 whole drive bars. For sake of this video, I think we're not going to be using that mechanic, so don't worry. Anyways, Anti-form or Dry form allows Sora to access augmented powers of his heart with transformation. This is a quick blade, and his attacks are virile and extremely quick, basically. Limit form, basically the abilities he lost in the Castle of Oblivion, and yeah, he allows him to use attacks from the freaking Kingdom Hearts 1. Now we have the form changes from Kingdom Hearts 3. Second form, a form that allows Sora to utilize the abilities he previously used in his previous adventures and transforms his clothing to that of his Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit. Guard form emphasizes Sora's defensive abilities and techniques and changes his outfit to that of a yellow color. Strike form emphasizes Sora's physical technique, changes his outfit to a red color similar to his Valor Dry form. Element form emphasizes Sora's magical abilities and long range techniques, changes his outfit to a blue color similar to his Wisdom Dry form. Blitz form emphasizes Sora's speed and movement, changes his outfit to a green color. And we got Rage form. A dark form Sora takes up that shrouds his entire being in darkness. It is reminiscent to that of his anti-dry form, but is activated when Sora is under a state of rampage fueled by anger. Unlike anti-form, this form allows Sora to retain the use of his Keyblade. Additionally, Sora can also increase the force behind his attack through an ability called Risk Charge, though this causes damage to his being in turn. And his forms from the multiple, I guess, weapons he has. He's got the hammer, he's got the shield, he's got the ice skates, and you got the rocket launcher, and then you have pretty much everything else. We have his passive abilities. The blind block, Sora is protected from abilities that would rhythm in place, such as the bind spell. Blindness block, Sora is protected from abilities that would take away his ability to see, such as the blind spell. I think we're only gonna mention some of these, once more, Sora cannot be killed by a combo for as long as he was not already on his last legs prior to taking an attack, instead being left critically injured but still able to fight and defend himself. Poison block, Sora is protected from abilities that will poison him, like the poison spell. Second chance, Sora will survive any attack that would otherwise kill him unless he is already on the verge of death prior to taking the attack. And we got the slow and stop block, basically protected from time abilities, basically. Thunder screen, and we have, against electricity based attacks. Sorry. Basically, he has a lot of resistance. And I guess that's it. It's pretty much Sora's basically whole thing. So yeah. Then we got Noctis. Oh, credit to the person named Xander Aesthetics to uploading this video, and basically to create basically the most powerful damage spells. Basically, Noctis is pretty powerful. He has very good stamina. Electron summons a bolt of lightning down on the enemy, and creates more lightning bolts as well, basically remaining on the ground. We got Flare. That's what I think it is. Flare. And this allows them to create a giant explosion, basically more bigger than Firaga. And any enemy who's standing in the fire is basically burned, basically. Then we got Electron. No, Freeze. I apologize. I got confused. Freeze basically creates a blizzard that surrounds around the enemy, and it basically hurts them. Basically, it's a bit hard for the enemy to attack if frozen. He also has the Unicast attack, which basically, Adamantite. Just gonna skip this video a bit. This does create the Unicast, the different Unicast. Then we got Noctis. This is basically Noctis, basically, when he's powerful. Basically he does have, well, he does have less than Sora. However, probably has just as much as Sora. Please correct me in the comments. He has superhuman physical characteristics, weapon mastery, stealth mastery, magic power bestowal, can grant others the ability to summon and wield any of the weapons he has in his arsenal. Fly intangibility, duplication, teleportation, telekinesis, fire manipulation, ice manipulation, electricity manipulation, light manipulation, healing, regeneration, mid-low, statistics amplification, statistics reduction, sound manipulation, gravity manipulation, precognition, holy manipulation, energy blast, poison manipulation, curse manipulation, time stop, spatial manipulation, BFR, summoning, absorption, death manipulation, barrier creation, resistance towards fire manipulation, ice manipulation, poison, basically all that stuff. Massively hypersonic speeds, lifting strength is class T, durability, stamina is extremely high, and he has lots of range. Then we have his standard equipment. He has his engine blade, Noctis' preferred one-handed weapon. It was presented to him on his 16th birthday, absorbing the elemental powers of those it defeats. Noctis later upgrades it with the latest in Insomnian technology to create the ultimate blade, an immensely more powerful weapon that also increases Noctis' health and mana reserves. Then we have the Ring of Lucy, which allows Noctis to create magical powerful spells, but the problem with this is it does put a strain on him. Then we have the Royal Arms. Is the 13 ancestral weapons passed down by the greatest kings of the Lucy. Noctis gets access to them while utilizing the powers of the Ring of the Lucy. We have his notable attacks and techniques. We have Armiger. Noctis channels the power of the previous kings of Lucis, summoning all their weapons and drastically increasing his power and speed, allowing him to decimate his enemies much faster than normal. In addition, every attack performed activates Noctis' warp skill, making it very difficult to hit him. When used at maximum capacity, it also grants Noctis the ability to fly. Sword of the Wise. Noctis utilizes it to warp around his foes, attacking the blind spots with devastating warp strikes. Axe of the Conqueror. A heavy axe wielded by a king known for his feats of arms is designed to wreak havoc with sudden devastating blows that cost Noctis' defense. A Ball of the Clever. It launches an unending supply of piercing arrows that can be easily drawn and fired while on the move. Swords of the Wanderer. They allow Noctis to unleash a deadly series of quick slashes and can combine for thundering attacks. Swift as the winds themselves. It boasts Blade of the Mystic. It bolsters Noctis' strength while it is in hand. It also increases the wielder's resistance to the power of darkness. Star of the Rogue. It can rapidly strike a single target multiple times or bounce between multiple targets and even creates duplicates of itself. It also increases Noctis' resistance to fire, lightning, and ice attacks. Great Sword of the Tau. It resonates in its wielder's hand, striking its victims multiple times with a single swing at the expense of the wielder's resistance to the elements. Shield of the Just. A shield that protected the queen devoted to peace and love for all. It automatically defends oncoming attacks and allows Noctis to expand magical energy to quickly heal himself. It also raises his resistance to fire, ice, lightning, and dark attacks at the expense of raw offensive power. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Mace of the Fierce. A mace wielded by a king who was gentle to his people but a monster to his foes. It possesses an affinity for causing grievous harm to body parts and appendages, crushing them and thus rendering them useless. Scepter of the Pious. A staff wielded by a king who ruled according to a divine law and worked in tandem with the oracle. It takes upon numerous forms to smite his foes, obliterating them with swords of divine light. The stat also greatly increases the wielder's resistance to the powers of darkness. Trident of the Oracle. The weapon wielded by the Oracle, who brought man and God together and brought comfort and tranquility to the stars above, is able to produce holograms and after images of the wielder that can also attack foes. Katana of the Warrior. An original blade wielded by the king whose queen was taken from him too soon. Noctis can draw and strike with it in a single heartbeat and crush his foes relentlessly with a cascade of blows. It also increases the wielder's resistance to fire, ice, and lightning, but lowers their resistance to darkness. Sword of the Father. The sword wielded by King Regis, father of the true king. It is a mighty sword designed that neutrals the light and increases the power of one's finishing blows. Armiger Unleashed. Noctis unleashes the full power of the Kings of Lucis with the authority granted to him by his possession of all 13 royal arms and the Founder King's sigil, allowing him to fly and freely manipulate the royal arms with his mind while greatly enhancing power of his attacks. In addition, he can warp around as he pleases, irrespective of the present locations of the royal arms. Royal Cleave. Noctis draws the engine blade and cloaks in magical energy before bringing it down on its opponent, dealing increased damage and greatly expanding its range. Dynasty Stance. Noctis summons the royal arms to attack as he does, causing him to land on his foe from above whenever Noctis makes an attack. Apocalypsis. Noctis launches the royal arms at his foe in a single homing attack that converges on the target from every conceivable direction. Armiger Storm. Noctis sends the royal arms spiraling towards his foe in a flurry of wind and light. Armiger Assault. Noctis summons the royal arms and sends them cascading upon his foe before coming down on the target with the Mace of the Fierce with a resounding crash. Armiger Vortex. Noctis brings the Sword of the Father into his left hand for furiously attacking his foe with a series of spinning slashes. Armiger Barrage. While in midair, Noctis has the royal arms swarm around his foe as he stabs the engine blade into the target and pulls it out, paralyzing the victim. Armiger Onslaught. While in midair, the royal arms strike the target from all directions before Noctis brings down the great sword of the Tau onto the target to crush them and leave them sprawled on the ground. High Time. A sweeping upward slice allows Noctis to seamlessly transition from ground-based to mid-air attacks. Legacy of the Lucy. Noctis brings the full might of the royal arms to bear against his foe, shooting them through his foe for having them repeatedly strike his foe from all directions. Noctis himself warps to each and every weapon to deliver a series of attack, while remaining nigh untouchable until he reappears in the air to bring the royal arms down upon the target, shattering and sanctifying the ground with holy energy that is then detonated with one final downward slash from the engine blade. Magic. Fire, Fyra, and Fyraga. Noctis generates fire energy into his hand for unleashing the magic energy. I apologize for stumbling on my words, and causing a small explosion on a location of his choosing, burning both the enemy and the surrounding area. Blizzard, Blizzara, and Blizzaga. Noctis causes the surrounding area to become blanketed in frost and ice, freezing enemies in the vicinity and landscape. Thunder, Thundera, and Thundaga. Noctis summons a bolt of lightning to strike his enemy from above. Death. Channeling the power of the Ring of the Lucy, Noctis begins draining his enemy of their life force, regaining his own vitality, and eventually killing the foe. Holy. Whenever he faces an attack, Noctis leaves behind an explosion of holy energy that burns enemies to ashes with white fire. If Noctis manages to blink through an attack at the last possible second, he will generate an even more powerful burst of holy that quickly heals his wounds and restores his magical energy. Alterna. By concentrating his magical enemy, Noctis shatters the fabric of the universe and sucks in all nearby enemies into the void. Astrals. Manifestations of the power of the stars, Astrals function as the creatures Noctis can summon after he forges a pact with them. Bahamut the Draconian, the most powerful of all the Astrals, appearing as a colossal humanoid creature wearing draconic armor and having wings made of massive blades. When summoned, Bahamut appears in the sky and casts Ultimate Sword, tossing down each of the swords that make up his wings before changing in and attacking the enemy with his own blade. Carbuncle. A fox-like astral with a red gemstone on his forehead. Carbuncle is the smallest of his brethren and has known Noctis since childhood. When Noctis is in a pinch, Carbuncle can appear and cast Ruby Light, healing the prince of his injuries. Leviathan the Hydranian. An absolutely titanic astral with the appearance of a sea dragon. Leviathan is by far the largest astral, several times larger than even the Titan. Holding mastery over all water, Leviathan's tsunami is capable of creating massive whirlpools and send out small torrents of water in the shape of dragons to harm foes, swallowing enemies in the currents and allowing the astral to devour them. Shiva Ramu the Fulgurian, a colossal astral resembling a robed wizard. When summoned, Ramu appears in the air and calls upon a bolt of lightning in his hand, creating a staff before casting Judgment Bolt, charging his staff with lightning and throwing it at the ground, decimating the enemy and surroundings in the area of effect. Shiva the Glacian, also known as Gentiana, handmaiden to the Oracle. Shiva is a humanoid astral with pale blue skin and white hair. Revered as the goddess of snow and death, she would cast Diamond Dust when summoned, creating several duplicates of herself and creating a massive blizzard in the area of physical enemies with it. She is also powerful enough to flash reach Arden Zunia simply by touching his lips with her fingertip and defeated Ifrit in moments. Titan, a gigantic astral with appearance resembling the mythical Atlas. When summoned, Titan picks Noctis up with his hand and uses Gaia's Wrath, striking the ground with his other fist and creating a master shockwave that wipes out all surrounding enemies. Apparently, he appears far in the distance and tosses a massive boulder to crush the opponents. And that's pretty much it. So who really wins this battle in general? Well, it's really hard to say. Sora has a very good arsenal of, magic and forms and, all the summons. And Noctis also has that as well. Being with powerful magic and, a lot of weapons and, astrals in general. This could either be a tie or pretty much basically a little bit of a stalemate if Noctis or Sora. Personally, I'm leaning more towards Noctis than Sora. But that's probably for another video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment down below. Which one do you think wins and tell me the reasons why. Share this with a friend, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.